I'm Wyatt Knox. Welcome to Hoonigan's Rally Speedrun Championship. First car out there on the course for the ceremonial grand opening is going to be Jeff Zwart in his highly modified Porsche GT3 Cup car. It doesn't have rally tires, it doesn't have rally suspension, but he's going to be the first one out on his course. Let's see what he can do. So Jeff, fantastic to have you here. A lot of people, I'm sure, know you from sports car racing and Porsches and many other things, but really, you've got a deep history racing on gravel.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think that was my attraction to motorsport, was watching the rally drivers as a kid, you know, just going, I want to be driving down roads, car rotating under me, roosting gravel, all that sort of thing. And, you know, as a visual person, a filmmaker, thinking about what it looked like from the outside with everything happening was just, you know, super attractive to me. And naturally, Pikes Peak was a big deal because, you know, it's like Pikes Peak was legendary globally at that point, and I just loved the Ari Vatanen and Michel Mouton and the things they did on the dirt there.
How much gravel was Pikes Peak? When you started the early days, I mean, it was largely gravel.
Oh yeah, when I started Pikes Peak, it was fully a dirt surface, gravel. It was rally style, and I loved it. And you know, I first went there with the little Mazda 323, and then I came back in '94 and ran a Carrera 4 rally car, a four-wheel drive Porsche. But Porsche Motorsport loaned me a 550 horsepower turbo motor to put in that thing, and we won open class in that year, and that was the beginning of it. And you know, I've driven 13 different Porsches at Pikes Peak at this point, and all configurations, and still drive there to this day. But this particular car is for the Colorado Hill Climb Championship.
So the Colorado Hill Climb Championship, where this car races and what it's set up for, is largely gravel.
Yeah, that's true. It's a 5 or 6 race series. It runs up the side of mountains in Colorado. I live in Colorado. It reminds me of why I started racing at Pikes Peak. You know, it's gravel, it's running on roads, with big exposure, big drop-offs. And going back to a two-wheel drive car like this car, it's just visceral, you know, sequential gearbox, no ABS, no traction control, nothing that you kind of experience today at Pikes Peak.
Sure.
But this thing is aggro and just fun, and you know, as you'll hear, it makes a nasty sound.
From a GT3 Cup car to the evolution that it's in now, what really is different and what are some of those specs?
Yeah, you know, GT3 Cup cars have been built for many years, and it's built by the Porsche factory. This is as it's delivered from the factory, so it's got all the safety equipment. It's built to be absolutely bulletproof in the way it's configured and everything, but it's made for road racing. So, you know, you got about a 3-inch travel in road racing. I need a lot more for that and on the gravel and hard packed roads that we run. So we've raised it up.
Sure.
Off the ground, we've got about 6 inches of travel now. Still not massive relative to...
It's not rally car, but
it's
a hybrid setup, which is what's interesting. And that's what was always interesting with the old days of Pikes Peak, where a pavement car doesn't work, a rally car doesn't, so it's kind of in the middle, which is really neat. Is the engine and transmission still standard in this?
Yeah, we have short gears in it, but it's a 3.8 liter, a little over 400 horsepower. Normally aspirated, but the cool thing, you know, for slippery surfaces is the engine's directly over the drive wheels. So, you know, it's really, especially when it's accelerating, really kind of planting the rear, putting the power down. And the short gears are kind of magical, because sequential gearbox, and it's just bam, 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 up and down. And it just is, you know, for me at this point in my life, I just want to drive something that's super fun, and this is it. We run a tarmac tire on this that we hand groove. I saw these, they're a super interesting tire. So with the tarmac tire, we've got the sidewall protection. They're very robust for running on the hard, rough surfaces. And honestly, the Colorado Hill Climb Championship's a pretty hard packed, you know, tight surface. It doesn't have as much sitting on top of it. So to be specific, it's a tarmac rally tire. It's a tarmac rally tire, so it's got the total sidewall protection in it, but I actually groove the fronts so they have a little bit of a turning groove in it.
Yeah.
I groove the rears so they have a little bit of acceleration grooves in it, and we kind of mix it up at times of opening up the grooves if it is slipperier, but
Sure.
you know, on a course like this, we'll just have to see how it goes. But this car is ideal for the Colorado Hill Climb Championship, but if it was a rally car, we would be fully on the 15-inch wheels. Also, I love the idea that we're kind of doing something in a space with a non-traditional car. And I love the fact that we can take a road racing based GT3 Cup car, put it on the gravel, put it on the loose surface, and just hammer away at it all day long. And like I said, for this point in my life, this is about as much fun as I can have.
All right, Jeff's gonna head out for a few practice laps, get to know the course, shake the car down a little bit. Once he's comfortable, we're gonna put him against the clock. All right, let's see how he does. He was at 130 beats per minute. He's at 134 now, so he's a very cool operator.
A GT3 Porsche. A GT3 Porsche is rally driving right now.
All right, so Jeff's out there on the course, just getting familiar with it, shaking the car down a little bit. Another big part of this is getting some temperature into the brakes so that they work effectively, getting some temperature into the tires and everything else. He's nailed the donut. No handbrake, but not a problem. He knows what he's doing. Second practice lap. He's going for it. Obviously a little more aggressive even just off the start. Definitely more aggressive this pass. Really efficient driving. You know, he's getting as much oversteer as he needs without overdoing it too much. Your time's actually pretty consistent.
Okay.
I can't tell you exactly, but you're within a second of the run before.
Good, okay, great.
Yeah.
I'm just, you know, at this point, you kind of try later braking and up a gear. So it's all good. I'm ready for the 3 hot laps.
Excited. First ever hot lap against the stopwatch. Jeff Zwart, absolute legend, GT3 Cup car, 140 beats per minute. He's basically chilling at this point. No stress on his end. Coming through there, you can hear the sequential transmission working. Nice clean lines as you'd expect. Coming in real smooth, coming out of corners looking like a hero. Again, no handbrake, he's just got to set the car up, but he's a pro. All right, Jeff. Jeff's coming through the last few corners here, up over the big crest, into the long hairpin right. His entry is perfect. He's looking through the turn. He's got a good amount of speed. He's not wasting any time. He's doing a great job. I mean, it's a nice downhill start into a long S-turn. He's carrying a lot of speed, a lot of momentum through there. He made it around the hairpin nice. Keeping it tiny through there, yeah. A little more sideways there out in the duff. And over the line. First car out there ever. How did it go?
Well, I guess that means I'm fastest, right?
You won. You won, no matter what. You're here.
Yeah, no, first of all, I got to tell you, to you, the whole team here, this is about as fun a stage or the single loop I've ever driven. It is an absolute blast.
Amazing. Love to hear
I
it.
just enjoyed it the whole time, and with the flat six singing behind me, you know, it's so fun.
It sounds beautiful.
It sounds amazing.
It's definitely good. And I'll tell you a funny thing though is I'm not used to being the only one on the course. So, you know, you come down on a corner, and I come down the corner and I'm on throttle and I see up ahead of me, I go, who ran clear out to the outside? And I realized that was me.
Whose tracks are those?
It was pretty funny because it caught me a few times. Oh, he screwed up. No, that was me. But no, it was an absolute blast.
We were standing in that top left corner over there, and dude, just watching this car come in, looking beautiful, and then your line, like you could see that your line started getting better and better as you got to your third lap.
Yeah.
And on your third lap, dude, I was like, oh, he's going, he's got it, he's got it. And
you know, that's really true though. You find that it's, you know, you want to go fast, but you realize I also still have to stay super tidy.
Yes.
You know, especially in a two-wheel drive car, and these tires and everything that really need the harder pack to get in. As soon as you get to the outside, all that area I've roosted, it gets pretty loose. And funny enough, the mannequin, you know, that we got to do the donut around, first few times I came in so hot and you sat on the outside and I felt like I was taking 20 minutes going around it.
Yeah, sure.
But then when you get it right and brake and pin the nose around it, go around it, it's a lot of fun. So, and I got to tell you, Ken Block meant so much to me in my life, and doing a donut around a mannequin, for a moment there, all I could think about was Ken.
It's a fantastic tribute, and he would love watching you see go around there with this thing too.
Oh, it was the good times.
So we've got footage of your fastest lap,
Uh-oh.
and we're gonna watch that now. All right, so our first ever driver, the inaugural launch of the Rally Speedrun Championships. Where do you think you're going to be on the leaderboard?
You know, I bet I'm in the top 3. I'm going to try for that.
I will say, a driver with as much experience as this, it didn't surprise me much that you were consistent. It did surprise everyone, I think, exactly how consistent you were. How tight do you think your times were?
You know, I was a balance. I could feel, because of the surface getting looser and looser, that I had to be tidy. So I was trying to pull back speed at times just to be in good grip areas. But it was a balancing act. But I felt like at least I didn't feel like I made mistakes. You know, it was good.
Absolutely. Your first lap was a 154.22. Your next lap was a 154.28.
Oh, God.
And your third and fastest lap was a 154.12.
Oh, geez, that's crazy. I guess I got the consistency award.
Absolutely.
Awesome. It was so much fun.
All right, so Jeff, it was fantastic having you out here. I gotta say too, respect, you're the only driver that showed up today. Crew of one, drove the truck here, unloaded the car yourself, servicing, fueled yourself. What's going on?
I only have myself to blame. It's all good. No, I love joining up with you guys, and being part of this first show is really special for me. So awesome, guys. And the course, I say it again, it is an awesome course. We're gonna see some displays of great driving.